Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. One of those days when I'm not gonna get into too much information. Today's drop, I'm just gonna get right into exactly what you need to know to take advantage of the land sale that's going on by Big Time today. So 30 seconds. If you don't know what Big Time is, really all you have to know, it's like where World of Warcraft meets Web3. You're going to get into teams of up to 6 people and explore through the universes killing monsters, and the only way to gain the game's token is to buy playing. There's not going to be no ICOs, no VCs that can buy the token. There's no way you can basically, speculate on the token. It's only by gameplay. So that alone is pretty interesting because it's going to be, you can see that this is really for the long term. Like you're going to have to play it and use the game currency in the game to really get its worth out. And basically, that's one of the main things that I'm seeing about Big Time that's pretty interesting. Other than that, what it matters is the team. And I mean, what can I say? This guy, he's from Decentraland, pioneered MMO games and social games in EA, Fortnite, God of War, Fortnite. Like this is basically, I mean, it's over 10 out of 10. This is probably one of the biggest, most capable teams in the gaming entire system, ecosystem right now, you could say, in Web3, metaverse, all this kind of stuff. So this is gonna succeed. What I mean by that is that it's not to say you're going to be able to 10x, 100x your money like, Axie Infinity or something, but this is going to be one of those things where you shouldn't lose your money in the long term, right? It's probably going to be very hard for you to lose your money in the long term. And that brings me directly into the land sale. What's happening today is basically one of the only ways you can really participate into some kind of investment in this game. And that is their land sale here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types. Right, so let me see if I can zoom in a little bit on this. There we go, much better. So they have Exalted, Mystic, Legendary, Epic, Rare. Okay, these are the percentage of the lands for each, right? 2% for this, 8% Mythic, 20% Legendary, 30% Epic, 40% Rare, right? So the supply goes more as we go to the most right side. How can you play this? This is what I'm gonna be doing. Based on what I see right here, it's the least supply, but it's the small ones. I remember from World Wide Web that you could buy the small ones and still get a 5x, 6x on your investment. Whereas if you bought some of the big ones, if I remember at some points, when the small plots were at a 4x, the bigger plots were at a 3x. So generally speaking, just from NFT space, something in general I just know from NFTs that I've seen across the board, example would be CryptoPunks, the liquidity is actually lower in the higher percentile, more expensive punks. For example, there's some punks that sold for $7-10 million. If you believe you have one of those punks that can go for those high multiples, right? 5 million, 4 million, 7 million, like that, you're not gonna be able to sell it right away. There's not people every day who's gonna spend 9 figures on a CryptoPunk, but it can happen from time to time if you hold it for long enough. But if you have a floor punk, like if I was to get a CryptoPunk, I'll just sweep the floor because that's where all the liquidity is. Long story short, this is where the supply meets the best liquidity, right? You have the lowest supply right at the top here, and the liquidity is gonna be pretty good for these ones because these are the small ones, right? Everybody can afford the small ones, but they're kind of iffy on if they really need or have to have the big ones, etc., etc. And the way it breaks down, oops, had to fix my screen again. So the prices go like this. Exalted, small is $1,800, $1,000 for Mythic, Legendary, $600, right? So I would say stay away from Epic and Rare, and you can get yourself starting from here based on your finances, right? It's not financial advice, but I'm just saying based on what you can afford, whatnot, how much you feel comfortable, you can go up in this, right? What I'm gonna be probably doing is getting probably one of this and one of this at the least, right? It's a $1,500 investment. It's one of the biggest games, it's a pretty easy investment opportunity, you could say, right? You're not gonna, it's probably in the long term, in the next quarter, by end of Q1 2022, it's gonna be very hard for you to lose your money, especially when the game is going live. And it's not too expensive, right? Like we spend, if you're in the NFT space, you spend quite a bit more than this on a weekly basis on NFTs a lot of times that have far less hype and far less of a team, right? So it's an easy investment to make in that positioning that, hey, it's like $1,500, $2,000, $2,500, something like that, under 1 ETH, let's say, you can get it and have a good exposure for something that actually has a substantial value and backed by a pretty good team. the question becomes a little bit harder when you want to go in heavy, right? If you think of this as like, hey, I made the mistake last time in Axie Infinity, I should have bet the farm. Then I haven't really put myself in those shoes, right? I'm somebody who likes to diversify and goes into quite a bit of NFTs, even on a weekly basis, and liquidity is very important to me. If you're really asking the question, because I see some of the people in like forums in the Discord and stuff, they're like really asking like, guys, is this the one? Is this the one that's gonna, that I can really go in, it's gonna change my life? You know what I feel about that personally? I've even talked about it in the channel before briefly, where it's those things is where it gets dangerous, where you want to get into one thing that's going to completely transform your entire experience, and then give you those like magical 100x out of nowhere and stuff like that. I would caution against it. Remember, those Axie days were like last year. Very few people got it in those times, and everything was really organic and all that stuff. Right now, this thing has 150,000 users in the Discord. 150,000 in Twitter. They have over 300,000 people in Discord. This has an immense amount of demand. And that's why there's a pretty good amount of supply, 60,000 spaces, right? So it's kind of hard to wrap my head around, because there's not much other project like this with this kind of supply and this kind of like epic number of people that are involved in it and stuff like that. I'm just showing where I think is the best bang for the buck based on some calculations and some experience I have in the NFT space thus far. Again, not financial advice. And that's it. So if you like these kind of short videos, guys, leave a comment below, like, subscribe, and also in the previous video that I uploaded, it's finished in a couple hours. You're getting $100 in ETH. If you want to take advantage of that, go watch that video, leave a like, subscribe, guys, and thanks for being here and supporting the channel. I'll see you guys soon.